To the GG Bet Chicago Invitational. We've got a new look Avangar coming up against Heroic in this one. This is probably the most exciting game of the day for me because I just want to see what Adren can do in Avangar.
Yeah, still new look, very, very new look. I think it was announced maybe, what, feels like 30 minutes before the Invitational started.
Exactly.
Obviously, you would imagine that Avangar had kind of sorted that out earlier, and that's not just a surprise move from their end. They will have some practice with him going into it. But obviously, it's a pretty big change. It's Fitch going out and Adren coming in. I think Adren just not even in question the best Kazakhstan player of all time. Also, just been a pretty prominent figure in the CIS teams throughout the years. Obviously, now coming back from, I guess, a bit of a lackluster stay in phase, but nonetheless, I think he still has it in him to be a pretty significant upgrade for Avangar. So it's going to be curious to see how this pans out.
Well, taking a look at the Vito, this is going to be very interesting.
Definitely so. Inferno and Nuke going out, Train as well. And this is actually pretty similar to the Vito that we saw when they played. Because these two teams played not too long ago, about 10, 11, 12 days ago for the final ESL Cologne spot. Obviously, we had the Invitational for that. That was the other way to get into it. And Heroic won 2-0. And, well, the Vito more or less ended up in the same fashion as it did now. We're going to end up on Mirage. I think that's something that both teams can be pretty happy about. It was the third map decider in their initial best of 3 as well in that matchup. We never got that far. Heroic did end up winning 2-0, but I think neither of the teams can really complain about where they find themselves right now.
Yeah, I think if we take a look at Avangar, we have to sort of manage our expectations with them. I don't think we can say, confidently this is going to be immediately better.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think one thing you can rely on is that you're going to get a higher individual level out of Adren than you did out of Fitch. But again, it's also how he works within the team, how much he feels comfortable with the spots he's playing. Also, what kind of position he's going to be playing again, because when he was in phase, not going to be the same kind of star player as he's been in his previous squads. Now he comes into an Avangar team where I would definitely put him in any sort of star role to succeed. Have him and James kind of lead the way in terms of fragging. Have Kikert, Buster, and Sanji kind of fill the spots and gaps elsewhere. And that obviously requires a bit of adjustment from not just Adren, but also everyone else on the side to make it work. So this might be a little bit early for them, but it's still very exciting to see what they have come up with so far.
Yeah, and the thing is with Adren as well, he has shown in the past he can in-game lead, and so he's obviously going to have a little bit of an input on what goes on in the team as well. If they have something he doesn't think is exactly very good, or he can improve upon it, and that's something I don't think Fitch will be able to do to the same extent that Adren can.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about experience, there's nobody who even touches the amount of experience Adren had. I mean, even if you go over on the side of Heroic, right? Freiburg's obviously been a professional. He's won majors. He's done everything with NIP pretty much in CSGO, and also played at a pretty high level in CSS as well. But doesn't even hold a candle to what Adren's been through. He's been going at this since 2004, 2005 at the very highest level.
Yeah, exactly. And we just seen the Nightfront play through. Heroic get it under their belt. I don't feel like the Nightfront is as important on Mirage, but. No. I think when you take a look at sort of the way that our previous game just went on Mirage, it was very close on both sides. So hopefully we can see more of that as well. I think Heroic, we kind of touched on it earlier, they're playing better than I think they've ever played. Even though they didn't make the EU minor, they're still looking a lot better. Yeah,
that was like the one hiccup in a pretty strong run of games that they've had for themselves. Again, qualifying for Cologne, that's a really big one. They did one out in Pro League. They lost to G2 there, but again, we saw how it went with G2, so that's not necessarily a disappointing result. Obviously, they probably wish they could have put up a better fight in that best of 3, but yeah, they're qualifying for big LAN events all around the world, and they're looking to continue that streak. I think it's a really exciting team, honestly, as well. You have some, I guess, not newcomers in that sense, but again, exciting talent on the side of Heroic. Stavin obviously being probably the most prominent one on that. I guess I'm going to call it Danish side, even though we have Freiburg, but he's pretty much an honorary Dane at this stage.
Yeah.
And also NATO Sefix, who's coming from Sprout. He's kind of had to go on the long route to get into a top Danish team, but he did so eventually. Had to go through Germany. But it's cool to see what kind of the new look Danes instead of just the same old rotation of players coming into it. I mean, Blame F as well. Yeah. Pretty good example of that.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Blame F is, right, he's in-game leading the team.
Yeah, as a very, very, I guess, inexperienced player compared to someone of the likes of Freiburg, right? They've been doing pretty well for themselves, so things are seemingly working out. As Attack is going to find the first frag onto Kikert, as we see Avangar moving up on that A-bomb site.
Well, Sanji gets one onto the tag. Another one coming in for Avangar's Jim, picking up Blim F. So we're back into a 3v3. Nado back over towards CT, able to pick up the headshot very cleanly on the Jim, moving forward, looking for another. Damage has been done on the Sanji, who's barely alive on 1 HP. And Stown, he's just going to hide inside of the ninja boxes, just hoping they come on past him.
Yeah, they know he's there. So he just needs to find the right timing, as he said, low on HP as well. Freiburg is going to be the linchpin of this round. Just one bullet from the USP. It's going to seal the deal here. They've slowed things down. They might be hoping that Heroic thinks they've vacated the A bomb site and gone over towards B, but so far nobody's been fooled.
Well, Freiburg is just being very patient at this point. Has got the crossfire with Stown, but the patience pays off for Buster, who just hides the sound of sandwich. Stown walks into his crossout, and the pickup is there. Freiburg into the 1v2. He'll just sit here with his USB. There's a clean headshot. The second comes in from Freiburg. Great stuff there. Very beautiful indeed.
Got the job done. Heroic get off to a flying start here, winning the pistol round on Mirage, starting on that CT side. There you go, bit of a replay. Here we go. Nicely done from the veteran. And very well done as we see the odds here from GD.bet. Heroic being favored in this matchup after winning the pistol 1.52. In favor of them winning the match, Avangar 2.41. Obviously that could swing still. Something to see Heroic being able to deal with the anti-eco. James hoping to find a connection with his deagle towards B. That's not going to be the case. Stabin not going to have the same luck as we saw Config do.
I think the thing that makes this Heroic team so exciting is how excited their players are.
Oh yeah, they're a happy-go-lucky bunch.
Safek's probably one of the most enthusiastic players I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I think that rubs off in a pretty significant way, too. I mean, if you go back to the old NIP lineups, Freiburg was definitely the most vocal one on their side. Now he's surrounded by other people who kind of get, well, I guess, caught up in the excitement of it, which I guess can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. But I think these are players that are not going to go overboard with it as well, which is cool to see. I mean, I think during the Pro League stage when they qualified, they beat Navi actually to make it through to the finals, which is a pretty big scalp to take. I think you could tell that the players was just thrilled. I think Blame F almost snapped NATO Safix into two, you know, with a bit of a bear hug.
Yeah.
But you love to see that. I mean, emotions are obviously a pretty big part of it, and you love to see players being passionate about having success.
I think that might have been like the final nail for Navi to sort of give them the motivation to make the change.
Yeah, very well could have been. And actually, it's going to be fun to see them as well coming up. We haven't seen them play in quite some time. For now, though, Heroic and Avangar dueling it out. Stavin with the aggressive setup and underpass is going to find Sanji. Sanji, one of the newer additions to that Avangar lineup. Look at all the control that's been gained by Heroic here.
Well, Heroic are off to a pretty good start. Avangar are going to have to try and step into this one. Yeah, still got utility alive on Adren and, of course, Buster. Only one smoke, though, so it's going to be a little bit more top-heavy in terms of having to win the fights when it comes to aim duels. And NATO Safix playing close towards ramp. Knows they've got the man advantage to play with as well.
Yeah, them closing off that B app so early on has allowed them to put three players pretty heavily on that A bomb site while having S tag holding off any sort of boost in towards window room. Strong setup now from the Danes.
Wonder where the smoke's going to go from Adren.
Might not even use it until they go up. Seems like they want to go for a contact play here. Kicker, it's going to get spotted out. Ooh. Oh, it's actually going to be Buster to find the first opening, and that, well, draws the attention of Freiburg away. And who needs smokes when you have Kicker opening sights like that? Stavin tagged down to 16 HP. He's going to make it around the corner at the very least, but as the tag has gone down to Buster, and pretty much out of nowhere, Avangar is able to find 4 kills with no reply.
That one was just looking so good for Heroic at the start of things as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kicker gets spotted when he's trying to go on a contact play, so the element of surprise is gone there, but Buster just jumping at the bits to come out of apps. Finds the timing to find, I think it was NATO behind fireboxes. That's really what does it for them. Creates the opening they needed, and, well, it looked like a pretty terrible start. With Sanji going down an underpass, Heroic having so much map control, so much information to work off of, they still bring it back. And I guess we talked initially about Jame, we talked initially about Adren, but can't really forget about the remaining players on that Avangar squad. I mean, when they really started to come through here and pressure some of the bigger teams in the world, it was a lot on, you know, Kickert, Buster having big games as well. Definitely not bad at fragging themselves.
Yeah, I think the Avangar team has definitely got a lot of depth when it comes to individuals.
It's definitely going to work well for them here in this matchup. Now though, Heroic on an eco. Going the conservative route, as you see. Ezitag and Stavin had plenty of money, but obviously don't want to go for a completely reckless force buy this early on in the round. Don't want to destabilize your CT side.
Well, Jim trying to get lucky towards the window. Smoke will go up and prevent him from spotting anyone. So just over a minute left. Barely over a minute at this point. And Heroic are going to start to stack most of their forces in towards the B bomb site. And Avangar really haven't committed anywhere at this point. So it's all about getting as much information as possible and then make an informed decision where you can limit the casualties. Yeah.
Doing a pretty good job of it so far, and luckily for them as well, it seems like the stack is going to be over towards the B bomb site, but that doesn't really matter. Blame F. One-man wrecking crew finds, well, I'm going to give him 2.5 kills there. Kicker down to 25 HP. It's obviously going to create a rotation from Heroic side as well, so they're within a chance here. Let's actually get this done. Bomb's still yet to go down. And not really the right utility on the side of Avangar to actually hold them off either.
Well, Sanji just sitting at the bottom of the stairs where Blim F stood. Another kill from Sanji. The double comes through, traded back by Freiberg. And an AK still alive on Nero Sandfix, but the problem is getting back into this bomb site. It's going to be so difficult as Buster just hiding behind triple. Got Kicker inside of the ramp as well. Don't really need him just yet. It's all on to Nero Sandfix coming back through. Over towards the site. The time is starting to tick. He taps it. He has to wait for the bit, and that's not going to come through. So Kickert will end up winning the round, but Nero Sandfix is just looking for the pick towards ramp, and Kickert will take the headshot. So there it is, Avangar with another one on the board, and Heroic. A lot of damage done, I have to say.
A lot of damage as well. That is pretty much all they could have hoped for, bringing Avangar down to 1 alive, and Blame F here. Just knocking the corner, and then getting the follow-up onto the game. Just really well done. And Sanji being able to find 2 here is really big. Obviously, Kickert on solo HP.
Well, Jim looking for the opening pick. He'll have an AWP challenging him from the top of the stairs. That is, of course, Estetag. And sort of question when they got rid of Mertz is Nero Sandfix going to be that main AWPer for the team?
Yeah, it's just like it's still a little bit free. Well, they're free balling it a little bit, depending on position and map. But it's been working pretty well for them. Can't really deny with the results that Heroic has been getting.
I think Mertz is actually still a pretty good talent for some of these Danish teams. You know, he's obviously was the shining light of the North Academy side, alongside the likes of Gid. Obviously went into the MSL North when it was falling apart. Gets kicked from that relatively quickly and found himself on Heroic for a little while, but again, not finding a permanent home there. So, I don't know. Is there a place where Mertz can go?
Definitely is. I mean, as you said, pretty solid talent. Just has a bit of an issue with consistency, which is, I guess, is a common problem with newer players. So if he can find the right team for him, can definitely do a lot of damage. We've seen what kind of like skill he does possess. He's not going to amount to anything at all. Gets stuck on a ledge, so instead of flying deeper in, it's left wanting. Freiberg's still in a pretty strong position here, though, but Catwalk's been exposed.
Well, Stown gets the double kill on the hold as well, so Kickard and Jim and Adren, they're going to try and get it done, but a shot from Essetag connects, another one coming through as well. Adren has to step up, and you'll only get one. Heroic, they'd make it happen. Stown with 3, Essetag with 2, and that'll end up being 3-2 for Heroic.
A solid hold from Stavin there. Freiberg going down without getting a kill to his name. At least creates a lot of distraction. Gives more time for Stavin to recuperate after getting the first frag on Catwalk. So well done from Heroic there. Quick rotations as well. Nets them a third round. Keeps 3 players alive too, which is what you like to see. Builds up that economy. Flash comes into mid. Stavin does the Dexter drop. It's like when you want to go for the Catwalk drop, you fail it. Turns into a mid rush. He's going to play a little bit more conservative there. Kicker's not conservative at all. Just runs up on a ramp, finds the first kill, and actually gets out of dodge too.
It's important to hang on to that kill. You know, if they get one, yeah, it's good. But if it's traded immediately, it's kind of ineffective. But no, they've kept the kill. They've got an AK still to work with.
Yeah, and that is the hero AK as well. It's not even armor on anyone else. It's not going to have the same efficiency, most likely, in other hands.
This could really work, though, because there's
yes.
only one player on the B-bomb site and no one really quick enough to rotate.
They're not even remotely close.
They've also got the help of James just to cut off that rotation, cause a couple of problems if he can. And Freiberg, he's going to get the information, fall away. Molotov goes down, he gets 1 kill, needs a little bit more than that, or just to stay alive long enough for his teammates to get somewhat close to the bomb site. There's James cutting off the rotation, but whiffs the shots, and that might just cost him. It's into the 3v3. At this point, Heroic, they've got kits alive in all 3 players. They can just take the time, make sure they've set up this retake.
Yeah, Molotov on Blameeth as well, so they can get rid of any pesky angles. Boosting up on Catwalk. Time is starting to tick, though. 20 seconds left on the bomb. Still 3 players to find. That's a tag. Tries to make his way out of kitchen, but it's not going to be successful. Stavin left alone. Molotov goes down. Is starting to burn Sanji, but Buster just well placed up in apps. Doesn't really give up his life or give any chance for Stavin to close that out. And the hero AK works out.
It does indeed. Kicker gets 3 on the AK. It's incredibly important if you're going to be that hero. You have to have the most impact, and Kicker certainly had the impact.
And if I'm not mistaken, if they haven't changed it around, Kicker's still the in-game leader of this team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is, right? Because it was kind of like Jim was before that, and then from sort of the information we gathered, it was Kickered again.
Yeah, and then you had a strange situation where James got benched for, I think, a period of, 1.5 weeks where they brought in Ramzik, then he came back, but he wasn't in-game leading anymore. That kind of, it was a whole thing.
It's so difficult to sort of keep track of who's the in-game leader of teams.
Yeah, it does change up on a bit of a whim for a lot of the teams. But I think, well, regardless of say, Kicker showcased himself as a player who's been very strong regardless if it's in-game leading or just fragging out. This is the updated odds here. GGBet now favoring Avangar, 1.7 odds for them to win the match as they've equalized.
It's even more difficult when you get towards like the tier 3 teams because they don't get a lot of media coverage, so you never really see an interview coming through about who's in-game leading for the side.
I mean, if we're going to be brutally honest with a lot of these tier 3 teams, it doesn't really seem like they have an in-game leader at times. Yeah. A lot of questions being made about what kind of plays and calls they do, so whether that's a joint effort or somebody doesn't really want to, I guess, step up and take the responsibility of all the madness. Could also be the case. Kicker, once again, he's had so much success doing this. Just straddling his way in towards that A-bomb site without any sort of utility. Just off of the back of one flash. This is against an eco. Not as slow of an approach this time around from Avangar. Nearly bit them in the end with Blameeth's double kill earlier on. Now it's going to be on NATO. See if he can find anything. Just gets one tag onto Buster for 14, but doesn't win out that duel.
Yeah, we've been forced away. NATO Sapphics on 6 HP, Essetag on 8, so not looking amazing here for Heroic. Never was. And Adren will take away Stout. And that'll be the man advantage for the T side. So Avangar just making sure they hold on to it. They don't want to make any mistakes in Heroic. Not really looking to do too much into this one. Hoping for a couple of exits, a couple of pickups, but other than that, Avangar will be happy about this one. They will go 4-3.
Freiberg hoping to do some damage. Maybe have somebody go up to the bomb. That's not going to be the case. Avangar successfully playing out that anti-eco round.
Okay.
Let's see what kind of... we'll see if there actually is a buy on the side of Heroic off of this. It's not a great one, but they're actually going to opt in for it. This is a bit surprising to me. You're not going to have utility. You're not even going to have that great weaponry.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess everyone's sacrificing head armor. That makes sense going up against AKs.
And it's not even like the economy from Avangar is in that dire of a position either.
Yeah, you don't really get too much of a benefit from potentially... Well, you win a round. That could be great. But as you said, Avangar is going to be able to buy up once more after this if they were to lose. We'll see, though. The aggressive stance in mid is going to net them at least 1 kill to start off. Actually, make that 3. All 3 heroic players in mid making the most out of it with very limited utility. That has to feel bad for Avangar.
Well, that's something you can throw into the mix.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that in your back pocket, bring that out every now and again to settle a score. This is already looking very much like a heroic round. We've seen James do some magic with that op, but he hasn't really been brought into action so far on this map. Still early days, though, but heroic mid setup working a lot better than what we saw pretty much throughout the entirety of the first game. Optic, Gamer Legion, both trying to have mid setups, but nobody really falling into it. Avangar with the more aggressive approach for mid control gets caught off. We'll have to pay the price as well. And while we have a bit of a lull, what you can do at home is head over to csgo.net, use code Chicago, CHICAGO, and you could get 30% more balance on your deposit and potentially win some cool skins while you're at it.
Yeah,
Stavin rocking a pretty fancy knife.
It's definitely a pretty nifty skin he's going in.
Do you have a knife skin?
I have got a knife. It's one of the new knives, the Ursus knife.
Ooh, I've lost track of pretty much what skins even exist.
It's like an M9 bayonet a little bit. But it's cut off the top. It's kind of weird. It's cool. It's one of my favorite ones because realistically, you're paying for animations, right? That's the only thing you're paying for.
That's why
this one has multiple different animations. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty nifty. That's why I think Karambit's such a favorite because you can swing it around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a pretty good feeling. It's like with the Deagle as well. Like when you roll it up, something satisfying.
Oh yeah, because they added that new one, right?
Yeah, because it was a part of the old the old iterations of Counter-Strike. Bit of a fan favorite in that sense. Yeah, I just have a flip knife, and I'm probably never gonna change it because I was gifted to me by Sembler.
Oh, okay.
Actually, way back when. So
I can't.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't part with that. It looks nice as well. There we go. Back into the action, and as we said, Avangar, their economy wasn't really threatened when Heroic made that force buy, so you're gonna be able to buy into this as well. Pretty healthy on utility. Maybe more importantly, that op on Jane will maybe not for long. Whew, blame F. Okay.
That is beautiful. Just the 2 kills on the rifle. Throws the grenade. Gets that one as well. Perfect stuff. Adrian only manages 1 kill onto Blame F, but instantly shredded by Stown. And it's over. Avangar, again, just get picked apart.
Blame F's been brutalizing them in mid. Even if it didn't get more than 1 kill in the last round as well, he's playing that aggressive initial spot, so him getting a first frag destabilizes everything that Avangar wants to do. The fact that he has teammates able to follow up on it is brilliant as well.
Blame F literally just crushing them.
Yeah, just giving them all a bear hug.
Wraps them up.
Yeah, no, he's been really impressive. I think he kind of shone through for a lot of people who, I guess, yeah, you wouldn't have known who Blame F was ahead of Copenhagen Games. That's really where he started making his mark, having brilliant games pretty much throughout the entire tournament. And that's what's so cool about these open tournaments as well, right? This the local ones. It's one of the few BYOCs we still have left in the circuit. Yeah. But it's such a good stage for up-and-coming players to showcase themselves. And he had a pretty meteoric rise from where he was at, just the team he was playing with in Copenhagen Games, to all of a sudden be on Heroic.
Yeah.
And now in-game leading as well. He can do it all.
And obviously, they were meant to be at Copenhagen Games this year, but their travel schedule with EPL just didn't quite work out. But he still attended as a spectator.
Have it. Underpass gets shut down for the time being. This time it's James to have a hero AK on his side.
Can he get it done?
This is a big question. Obviously, James is when you expect to pick up that AWP more so than not. It's a little bit surprising to see him with an AK.
Haven't really been saying his name too often in this game. I think he's been a little bit quiet.
I think chat's still very... okay, then Buster. That's a Ferrari peak and a half. Takes down Stavin. Blame F still hanging about, though. He might have to duck out in a little while, considering they could push closer from the top mid area. Oh, gets sandwiched. Just stays around a little bit too long. Tag, though, it's a trade. But Avangar doing a really good job of splitting the eyes of Heroic here. Now it's down to Freiburg. James been able to pick up 2 with that AK. Really has been the pistols, though, that creates most of the chaos. Freiburg, do you want to go through Murder Hole?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay,
works.
then.
Okay,
Yep.
do it. Definitely do it.
Why not? That would never, ever work if I did that.
No, I would. I think it's because I'm just so slow getting through it. I just kind of.
I mean, he crouched through it.
Yeah.
I feel like James should win that out 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, it's not really the hero AK at all, but
Ooh.
into the 1v1 up against Buster, and he's holding the angle well here. Freiburg is trying to make his way up, might just fall to this hole as the M4A4 is holding it, but it's holding the wrong side. Freiburg's about to walk in behind him. They have no idea. He's on top of him. This is mental. He's on top of him. Footstep mid on the default position. Oh, no. Freiburg, that is absolutely heartbreaking.
Ships in the night.
Ah.
Man, that's a rough one. So close yet so far away, and Heroic stumbled yet again versus Hero AK. Although I will say the pistol work from Buster in that round, starting everything off.
Yeah, I feel like the Hero AK didn't really do all that much.
No, it was there at the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was the pistols to open things up. First Buster on Catwalk, and obviously Kicker getting out of apps to find the A defenders. Really well done, and that means we do have James back on an op. Might see a bit of a duel here soon. James is crouched, though. S-Tag won't find anything at all. Now then, potential swing round here for either side, really. Whoever loses this has to be sent back to an eco, barring a save. Seems like Avangar are fairly aware of this as they're playing passive, but the double off setup has come out. You talked about NATO coming into the team. That's going to do anything. Again, Buster with a great peek, but what is it about BlameF and finding multi-kills in top mid?
I don't know. It just kind of is.
With a UMP.
Yeah, we talked about the Ferrari peak. He's like the bulldozer peak, just going straight through them, rolling over them.
Man, keeping Heroic alive here with a hope. It's a pretty big one. Buster's really nailed how to peek Catwalk from top mid, at least. That's for sure. Staving and NATO finding that out the rough way. But now the issue becomes Avangar not having smokes. They do have 2 Molotovs, which is great and all, but might be tough to get onto the A-bomb site. Kickert's still alive, and he's had a lot of success just walking on contact up towards that A-bomb site. Might be the plan once more. Actually, they're dropping everyone into apps. Unconventional way of going about it. See if they find the timing, though. It's been spotted out. Stamin's going to get the better of Kicker.
Well, Estad just sitting back over towards ticket box. Advantage still there with Heroic. No need to throw it away, but Avangar, 9 seconds. They've got to get this bomb planted, and Estad, he's going to deny it. Still time for the bomb plant, but Sanji has to get it. No more. It's over.
Ezatag played that really well. Oh, actually, he will get it down
literally
with 3
a millisecond.
seconds. Yeah.
Oh, that is nuts. Sanji actually gets the bomb planted just at the final few milliseconds, and it's into the 1v2. AWP picked up, looks back over towards the connector, and they're starting to pressure him. Sanji just sitting on default, can't get away, just has to frag out as they come in towards him. It's the drive-by from Freiburg, and getting that bomb plant in itself is just the most impossible thing.
Yeah, that's an heroic effort. Pardon the pun, but no, Ezatag played that so well. You could tell immediately after Stamin gets the first kill, he's committed to just denying the bomb plant. That's the only thing Ezatag wants. Otherwise, he could have taken the challenge from Ticket, which again could lead to things spiraling out of control if it gets picked off. But him just sitting back, waiting for the bomb to go down, playing off the sound cues, exactly what you need to do. And yeah, with 3 seconds left, I wouldn't think there was time for Sanji to actually make that happen, but at least gets the bomb plant down. But still going to end up being in a heroic round. NATO, again with the op. Avangar is so good at doing this, like timing-wise. Finding some contact elsewhere on the map and then having someone pop out from apps to create some havoc. Rarely have been punished for it. Sanji has gone down in mid. Not surprisingly, BlameF once again. Starting things off for Heroic. Just done such a good job. Oh, no flash. Not needed.
We see that happen so many times. We just peek him with like flashbangs.
Yeah. Just decides to go on it. There he gets the flashbang, but doesn't really work out. Buster, once again. His deagle has been lethal.
Yeah, it's such a scary prospect, but luckily Freiburg will get rid of both of them. 7-5. I think at the start of this, I have to say Heroic are probably looking like the better side, because Avangar, you have to realize, like 2 of their runs, maybe even 3 have just come off the back of
Heroics,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
an AK or the rest of pistols.
Yeah, just individual prowess shining through. And it hasn't been off the back of either Jame or Adren, which is kind of what we've expected going into this matchup. It's been Kicker, it's been Buster doing a lot of the heavy lifting so far to get Avangar to 5 rounds. So 5 rounds on the T side is not any sort of death sentence by any means. And again, Avangar not seeming too keen on actually moving in towards mid initially. Probably had enough of Blame F ruining their day. Kicker with the contact play on A is going to get caught up by NATO. So double up setup still intact for Heroic.
Esatag still posted up inside of the apartments, looking for another. He spotted the arm of Jim, and he's taking him away. Adren, Buster, and Sanji will be left alone. I think Esatag's actually spotted a player drop in towards underpass as well. He's not going to react off of it. He's going to give the information to his team surely at this point. Adren has already started to make his way through underpass, and the bomb will be making its way back over towards A. Currently, Heroic, they've got 3 players on this side of the map. A 4th could rotate very quickly indeed, and I think that might just be the call. So this is going to be incredibly difficult for Avangar, but we've seen them pull off runs like this before. Let's see if they can make it happen. Adren just cutting off the 4th player, although still Heroic have got 3 players inside of the A-bomb site, and Avangar have telegraphed they want to go here. Blame F is going to peek from under the wood. The flashbang comes in. It's 1 for Blame F, but Adren is still causing problems. He got another kill, but finally he is dropped by Stown. It's all on the Buster. 1 versus 3 with 20 seconds left on the clock as Buster starts to make his way in. He's starting to really dwindle his chances, but he's got the headshot on the Stown. That's the first of a very long road into this.
Fix the bomb plant. And well, now he's going to be out of time, really. If he doesn't commit, NATO knows that. Well done by Heroic to stabilize there. So yeah, Adren, pretty much for the first time in the game, showcasing what he can do for the Avangar side. Doesn't end up with a kill, though. 8 rounds for Heroic. And I think most of us would have held Heroic as a favorite going into this matchup as well. Not to take anything away from Avangar, but Heroic, as we said, been playing pretty well leading up to this point, qualifying for pretty much everything there is outside of the minor. It's the one hiccup they've had on the run so far. And you can tell the tempo's been turned up here by Avangar. Pop Flush comes out, and down from Abs, 3 players died and promptly die. No bound plant. James still tucked away on the site. Got a P250 to his name, but that's about it. And I mean, even in the following round, sure, there's going to be a loss bonus. It's not going to be the greatest of buys. Oh, James, hello. Wants to get some cash. Tried to get an op potentially in his hands. Somehow surviving for quite a amount of time, but doesn't actually net a kill. Blame F and S attack down to low HP, but stay alive. And here we go. James does have enough money for an op, but no armor, so we'll see what comes of it. Actually going to decide to opt in for the AK. So yeah, very limited impact from James with that. Here we go.
Yeah, so just AKs for Avangar. Jim is the player you want to be on the ult, but he's going to go for the aggressive peek on the AK. Right through the smoke, he'll take a lot of damage, but the first kill, first blood of round number 15 is Kickert. Although short-lived as Blim F immediately eliminates Jim, but Kickert is still going forward. As Down has picked up one on the ult, there's another. Bit of an off angle, perhaps not expecting it. Kickert swings open towards jungle and hits the deck. So Buster and Sanji into the 2v3. They've just got to hold on towards the A-bomb site. Bomb plant was about to come through, but the Molotov will force him into default. And Buster will plant that. He's got a player in below wood, and there's a kill from Blame F. It's all on to Sanji. One of the newer additions to Avangar, but he's been there for quite some time now. He'll be looking towards CT. Stan will start to cross his way in towards the side, but so many different angles he has to try and hold off here. There's the first headshot. Looks back towards CT, and Sanji nearly makes it happen. Freiburg will get rid of him, and that will be double figures reached for Heroic at the half.
Nearly bringing it back there, but not enough. Just about get Avangar a 6th round there to close out the half. 10-5. Pretty solid stuff from Heroic. And yeah, 22-10. I mean, feels like a lot of that was also just happening in top mid.
Yeah.
Shutting down a complete avenue for Avangar. Limited their space as well in terms of what kind of map control they can get. Not easy to swing around between the bomb sites if you don't have mid control. That is very well done. And also considering the fact that at least 2 of the rounds that Avangar picked up were, I guess, well, not very expected rounds. Pretty impressive stuff from Heroic, as you see the updated odds now heavily in favor of Heroic. 1.21 odds on Heroic to win the map here, provided by GD.bet as we see the B push.
Yeah, well, Buster just sitting back over towards short. Sanji trying to assist with a couple of shots, only manages the 1 kill. Buster's still alive though, and still might have a bit of a kick in him, but S attack will stop him from doing so. Now it's time for Adren to step up, show a little bit of its individual ability. And we'll get 1 kill, but BlameF again, so quick on the trade. It's Kicker to Jim having to step up, and BlameF has to pull off the clutch. He'll sit on the bench, there's the kill on the Kicker, and BlameF looks to make it happen. Of course he will. He's having a great performance so far in Mirage, and continues it into the second half.
Damn, BlameF is having a game and a half.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, that's 25 frags, and we've just got started on the second half. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really seem like he needs too much backup to bring Heroic over the line on this one. Still 5 rounds to go for Heroic if they want to close this out. Looking pretty solid though. Big tank of a Heroic. Again, B right off the bat.
Oh, that's
messed up nade. So 1 flash gone at least, but Sanji's still going to have a really rough time dealing with this.
Yeah, it's not looking great here for Avangar. All the kills coming in for Freiburg. So back then building up a lot of cash. Adren finally will put Freiburg 6 feet under, but it's all onto Jim. Into the 1-2-5. He will get his head torn off, and that will be it. 12-5 here. Heroic, they are only 4 away from taking away Mirage, and this is definitely, I was expecting a bit more of a close game, but I think obviously you've got to expect it. It's not going to click immediately for Avangar.
Yeah, it's there's an adjustment period, right? I mean, some teams have, I guess, a honeymoon period, but not really seeming to be the case for Avangar.
Especially with Adren and JM being at the bottom of the scoreboard. Like,
yeah.
That's just not something you would have expected at all.
I mean, James just really hasn't opted in for the op a whole lot.
Yeah.
Now he's finally going to have it in his hands and does leg up BlameF as well.
Well, this is their best chance in a while of getting a round win. I'm afraid if Avangar don't step into it soon, I think the momentum from Heroic is just going to carry them forward, but that's a good early pick and a good player to find as well. BlameF, he does hit the deck thanks to Buster. And Adren has collected the blood to walk through the smoke. There's the kill. That's the bomb. Can he get another one? The answer is no, as NATO Safix quick on the trade will keep it into a 4v3. Advantage still there for Avangar. Heroic, they're starting to force them away from the A-bomb site. The rotation coming through, though, from Avangar. This makes things a little bit more difficult for Heroic.
No smokes for spawn yet either. So getting down a bomb plant is going to be really tough. That does alleviate some pressure at least. S attack finds Buster. Oh, not going to win out the duel versus James, though. But they did. I think he got eyes on literally everyone on the side of Avangar being in spawn. At least 2 out of the 3. And it seems like they're not quite aware. Expecting somebody to come through jungle.
At this point, Heroic just need to sort of edge their way around the bomb site, try and find some sort of way to make sure they can safely get the bomb planted. They've done a decent job of staying alive, in fact, but Kicker, he's just gone aggressive. Oh, this is perfect timing for him. There's a kill, looks up on top, but this time Freiburg from that position will manage 1 kill, although Jim will send him to bed. So, 12-6, halfway there, or Avangar.
Oh.
And that's just to even the scoreline.
It is a bit of an uphill battle. Kicker finding somehow that window of opportunity. Didn't really look like it for the longest of time. Thought Heroic would be able to get down a bomb line. Oh, okay. That's not something you see every day. Smoke actually hits James midair, so he Doesn't get the catwalk drop, but it also prevents the smoke from going down in window, I think. Might actually still work. James posted up in a pretty solid position here, though. Oh, backs off at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was hard to see a world in which he didn't get a kill if he stayed there. But unfortunately for him, and very fortunately for Heroic, he leaves the angle. And Dren's going to go back in, though. Over the top of the smoke, takes away Stown. And the man advantage is there for Avangar. Good chance here for them to start to build up a few rounds on their CT side. Heroic, though, are looking for an avenue back into round number 19. They still have got that AK available on BlimF, who's having a lights-out performance. A big factor as to why Heroic perhaps even lost that last run was because of BlimF dropping early. Wasn't able to have any impact. But now he's still alive, he's still roaming the server. There's always still a chance for Heroic. Patiently waiting. BlimF spots a player towards jungle, but Sanji's gone on a bit of a push through B, and they'll have all the info that no one is inside of the apartments or nowhere near this B bomb site.
Adren just missed out on BlimF getting into window. Depending on how quick Blame actually moves here, that could have pretty significant impact, but instead it's going to be Buster with the rotation, finding him in time. Everything working out for Avangar in that round. Freiburg's going to find Adren eventually, but not going to be enough to actually have an impact on the round. So well done by Avangar.
And if you guys are interested, you can head over towards csgo.net, very easy to remember, and use the code Chicago to get 30% more on the balance, and also have a chance to win some cool new skins. So make sure you head over to csgo.net to do that. So 12-7. We're currently only 4 away from Heroic taking the map, but Avangar are on a very merry pathway back into this one, because they've started to pick up a little bit of pace, they've got better weapons here, and Jim's on the AWP, so hopefully we get to see a little bit more impact from him across the board.
Definitely so, they need it. Last round, Adren with 2, James with 1. I think just for the betterment of Avangar in general, having James on an op as much as possible is going to be a recipe for success. Oh, NATO getting a little bit unfortunate. Taking down Tag, and Sanji and Buster combining to find 3. Freiburg with 1. And that's probably going to be all there is as well. No bomb plant for Heroic, so Avangar are doing a pretty decent job here of keeping them at bay. 3 rounds in a row for the CT side. Now we're going to see another buy coming out from Heroic, though. No ops on the side unless Heroic decides to, well, put all their eggs into one basket. Freiburg did have enough money, but they're going to focus on getting the utility in place instead.
Buster just made it look easy here on the B-hole. This time it will be Heroic on the Krieg. It's going to be Tag picking that one up. No op to challenge that of Jim, but the SG can definitely do a pretty decent job at it, if you can get it rattling off quick enough. But 4 is the magic number for both teams at this moment in time. Heroic need 4 to win it. Avangar need 4 to be able to equalize. So definitely still a long way back for Avangar, but this is definitely the right foot forward.
On the right track, James. Left is more or less the sole defender on B for now. Scopes up in towards Apps.
This angle's so difficult to deal with as well.
Yeah.
If you swing wide, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the kill here. You have to swing super wide, though, to get it.
Yeah, you can't do the corner peek. There we go. NATO tries, but not going to be effective. James too quick. And Sanji on his end has found 2 people coming around on the cat corner. That shifts focus. BlameF has got an up connector. Unspotted as well. He's going to be able to clear out the entirety of the A-bomb side, but jungle's still occupied. Freiburg learns that the hard way.
Oh, the bomb is not in the most recoverable position there. I think BlameF was actually going to try to jump up and grab it. But
had an idea in mind.
Yeah, Vanguard looking much better here in the CT side. James starting to elevate his numbers a little bit.
Yeah, same thing goes for Adren too. That might be what was missing on that T side.
And BlameF's only had 1 kill since the pistol in the second half.
Yeah, that is true. Started off, well, pretty much started off the second half with 25 kills after the 3K and the pistol. We'll see, though. Haven't had the most, I guess, spy rounds on the side of Heroic to start things off. Let's see if they slow things down. This is a bit of a half investment. Stavin making his way forward in front of the Molotov. Sanji might not be expecting it. Well, now he definitely does. Still manages to correct himself as well. Buster once more. It's a common crossfire being set up by the Avangar boys.
Well, all on Neato. He will be finished off by Sanji. 5 rounds in a row here for Avangar. Finally, we'll get to see a buy come in from Heroic. Again, it's probably not going to have the AWP that we would like to see perhaps try and challenge Jim.
S-Attack hasn't bought up yet, so he might be considering it. These quick plays from Heroic hasn't really panned out up to this point.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. See what they decide to do with it. If it's going to be back to more of a standard default, taking mid control slowly and whatnot. Work off of that. This time, no smoke to mess with the jump from Jame. And the gap in the smoke could have been dangerous. Blame F. Familiar territory for him. Not able to land the shot onto Jame, though. As we've hit a bit of a plateau. Smoke goes down on the ramp. It's going to deny Heroic from running through, but Freiburg's actually going to find the right timing. Trent goes down. Not able to follow it up, but chaos ensues.
Well, another shot from Jim. Does connect. That's the second kill for him already. He's looking for a little bit more. He's hungry for these frags. That's the opportunity. Not quite able to capitalize. And again, it's just a battle of the peaks here. Stout has to fall away. And 1 minute left. This could be the play from Nato Safix. What a shot on the Jim. The smoke fades and it's like a magician. Headshot instantly there, but Buster equalizing back again. It's into the 2v2.
Speaking of magicians, Heroic is, well, vanished from that A-bomb side. Made their way over towards B. You can see bomb being dropped over. That's going to be so Stavin can basically hold kitchen window as Blame F drops down. Avangar not going to be there in time to spot the rotation. Actually, Stavin drops down. Now has pretty decent control. Can assume that nobody's going to be too nearby given the fact that the P-bomb site was open. He's going to catch the rotation, though. Sanji's posted up in a pretty good position, so if Stavin goes too far, it might be the end of it. Instead, it's going to be the other way around. Nice double kill there from the youngster. Heroic, bring it back.
Yeah.
First round in quite some time.
That's a great recovery, you know, just things are falling apart on the A-bomb site, then they just kind of, poof, back towards B.
Yeah. I think you can thank NATO Safix for a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
Just kill onto Jame. Pretty much has Heroic stuck on the, well, Avangar stuck on the side as we see the odds here. 2.78 for Avangar to win the match from this point on. 1.4 for Heroic, provided to you by GD.bet. Obviously, name partner of the Invitational.
Well, Heroic, the problem is here if they end up losing this one, the old economy you'd be sent back to the full eco, right? The full reset, but with the new sort of new era economy,
yeah,
it's not as bad. You know, you go down to a sort of lower level of the loss bonus, but you still got money.
Yeah, they could be okay to potentially buy. I guess they would decide off of the back how many kills they would get in a potential losing round, whether or not they want to opt in for it or not. Now though, just playing for late mid control. Gonna run boost SS tag in. Nobody's going to be in window, though.
Please work. So many times.
We've seen so many like sloppy run boosts. That's a solid run boost. Nobody in window, though. So back to business as usual. Smokes go out. Sanji's in a very forward positioning here on catwalk, so he needs to be dealt with. Crossfire with Adren as well, somewhat.
Ooh, Adren could get aggressive on this one. This could really work for him as he wants to go around the corner. Spots the AK. That's the headshot. Can we get another one, though? Not expecting Stown to be there. And that's the trade. Freiburg trying to get it done in towards Palace. Molotov will go and clear Underwood, but that's missed opportunity from Blame F. He turns it on. Sanji a little bit long on taking the kill, but eventually will. And Kickert will take away Stown. Freiburg, he's there for a headshot, but the advantage is still here for Avangar. And things are still looking good for the CT side. Esetag will do his best to try and pull it back, but it's not going to happen for him. The bomb plant's starting to come on in.
Oh, Buster finds the right timing to deny the bomb plant, and Kicker's going to get aggressive on the A-bomb site. Avangard's finding the right time to move forward. Sanji there, again, it's a situation where Blame F has been able to get into window unnoticed, unheard, but Due to Adren going down, Sanji, looking at the rotation possibilities, finds Blame F. Because that can really spiral things out of control. Bring it right back. And as you said, new economy system, but not quite enough to give Heroic a buy. Not getting enough kills either to warrant a force. Back at it, we go again, Avangar, looking to be in a prime position to get to 12. And I mean, at one point we were talking about how, well, you know, they're 6 rounds behind. This is quite the uphill struggle. Now they might just find themselves 1 round back.
They're definitely getting over the hill pretty well at this point. They just have to hope that their engine doesn't fail towards the top, and they're all right back down to the bottom. Molotov goes in towards underpass. Freiburg being prevented from extending his reach. So Heroic bringing themselves over towards the mid position. They've got multiple players coming in from top mid. Bombs there as well, 4 players. Freiburg, the only other player alive here on Heroic who's not top mid. He's in underpass, so looking for the mid tick. Heroic will actually leave it again. Gone all the way back over towards T-spawn. They have Freiburg inside of the connector, so this is definitely going to be that A split. And Freiburg is the hero 8K. We've seen Avangar make this happen on their T side. Can Heroic do the same? As Freiburg really has to have a lot of impact here, but the problem is Sanji's coming in from behind. Freiburg needs to be aware of so many different angles, and there's the kill. Sanji able to pick that one up, and Heroic 4 pistols are all that's left, and Kicker has got a double. It's not looking great here for the Danes.
Oh, no bomb plant either. NATO running into the brick wall of James on ticket. Adren's going to finish it out. Solidly done from Avangar. Sanji just seems to find the right place